Hello everyone, Sub-Zero here. Just want to document my journey for uh, Gearless Reya Reborn. And so as you can see, it says completed, and I wanted to just do a quick document for how I did it so anyone else can potentially go through this. So I will remove this right now. But as you can see, that's documented. And it went a little bit beyond to 627, and that's where it stopped. But first, I have Orkira, Brig, Baeloth, Helic, Evelyn, Lucius, Corazon, Tyril, Dragonbait, and Dob. And some of these are very specific in their intent. Orkira is a debuff and healer. Baeloth, for several reasons, but mainly for his stacks at the end, and I'll get into that a bit later. I wanted 3 tanks up front. That's why we have 1, 2, and then 3. Dob is another huge one for Gearless. The longer he runs on, the more his ability stacks by the more gold he takes away. And so the more damage you get for free. Corazon has something similar in his ability Goat, Pirate, G-O-A-T, Pirate. And currently he's at 12,495 stacks, 96, 97, and so it continues rising. It's almost cut off frame, but you can see it there. 12,500, and it keeps going up. So even with no progress, he still accumulates stacks and his buff increases. It's a very small amount, but it adds up. For Dob, you have he increases global gold find, which helps because then you have offshore accounting where he takes it away, and traveling entertainer, then Dob increases the damage of all champions not next to him, in this case by E13%. So there we go, E13%. So that's a huge boost to the damage increase. We got wiped, as you can see, they're going through, but Djinn stacking is another huge part of this setup, and that contributes another E8 or E9%, something like that. And so with this setup, with Orkira in the back, Dob with a few people around him increase gold find to get more damage, Brig there in backup support, Lucius as the main damage dealer with the middle ice spec, Corazon with making the further away champions count as neutral. Baeloth, you can focus on Djinn stacking primarily there. Blessing for Helic. Evelyn focusing on spreading out the benefit. It's left spec, I think, for her. Obviously bear spec for Tyril. And Dragonbait, I went on right spec for him. That is roast vegetables, I think. Anyway, so this is the setup that took me to 600 on its own, and that's just because the continued rising debuffs, the stacking of Dob as he proceeds, and then I had to get into some more advanced shenanigans to get the final ones. And so just for document purposes, you see no gear here, Brig, no gear, Baeloth, no gear, Helic, no gear, Evelyn, no gear, Lucius, no gear, no gear. Sorry, Ayla doesn't qualify for this. That's a mistake. Tyril, no gear. Dragonbait, no gear, and Dob, no gear. So this is gearless. Um, and we do have some potions used. These were needed to get that final 25 or so. And the way to get these potions, it was actually from season buffs and supply chest, which don't give any gear. And so that's why they tend to be the large format, because that was some of the season rewards. But here's the unopened items for document purposes. And so it's these giant potions that got used, and then one huge potion to speed it up at the end, make it go a little bit faster. But the Djinn stacking was one of the keys. We see that on right here, that little face. And so what you do to get that set up is you have a champion die and get resurrected. Then you move back to, in this case, like I did with Area 1, you wait for the cooldown. That'll show up here to reset, and then you send them back in. The way I did this here is I rotated my tanks out so that essentially you'd have, say I'm going to remove Dob and Brig. So I take them out for right now. You have your tank die, you rotate another tank in, and so you repeat that process. Then when you start to fill up your formations, so we have 8 here, we need to have more. So then I would bring Brig back in and have him get it, because the tank's not going to die. He's going to die preferential. And so then I'd put him back where he is. Now I have 2 tanks, so then I'd bring Dob in. And if you have a tank that has more health than the others, like Tyril with his ultimate, then use him first since he's going to survive longer. Then Dob would die. I would swap back, and you end up with 10 Djinn stacks going forward. Like I said, that's about E8, E10, 10% increase. The potions did help. One of the other things I did, though, to get the final push is I would drop back to a boss level, preferably that has melee, but really any boss level. And so it's watching this number down here. I was looking for it to go to E188, 189. And so now this is, I don't have the Djinn stacks going on, so it's less, but we see 181, 182. And so you see it rising, and it hits a peak at a certain point. The number's, like I said, going to be a little bit lower than what I had if I had full Djinn stacks. But 183, 184 is where it would kind of level off. And this is where the click damage and the fire breath potion come in, because then I would proceed to the area where the enemies are and would work on clearing them. So I have to drop back just a little bit to demonstrate it, but we're still accumulating a bit of the stacks there. So let's see if we can get just a hair more. But the higher the enraged stacks, damage increases. So we're doubled where we were before to almost 5. There we go. And it'll continue to rise. It's just a matter of patience, essentially. And you may have to remove the familiars to not kill everything. But what I do is, then would move to an area without that boss. And you see how the other demons or whatever they are got defeated, and you have one left. And the click damage is clearing, because of the fire breath potion, the click damage is clearing the rift raft, the enemy spawns. And Corazon is very nice in this setup, as if there's one enemy, the grease puddles tend to isolate that boss or enemy. You can see my damage has dropped from E184 or whatever it was to 178, and so they start to come up. But that's how you would proceed. So you have to go one area forward. Maybe you get two, but it was one area forward. I'd have to drop back, go to the boss area. So like I start to get overwhelmed there. You clear that area, then you go back to a boss. In this case, this happens to be 600, but it doesn't really matter. And then you would move forward to it. And with that, was able to complete Reya Reborn, Gearless, and once those other enemies on the normal stages are cleared, you can use your alts, whatever you want, to help speed it up a little bit. I found that Corazon's Fiery Bombardment was kind of nice once you get a good stack accumulated, and you're just able to clear those regular enemies. They might be 20 or something, but spread over 3 tanks, really not that big of a deal. And so just wanted to document this for archive purposes, but also to help out anyone else who might be going through this or have low item levels. I do have some achievements that do help. So bonus is 234 completed. So a bonus of 1,535% increase to all champion damage. But for purposes of being transparent again, with the core, there is no Modron core boost. It's just for automation. And for blessings, I have all of Torm completed, Kelemvor completed, Helm, I'm only missing the one global blessing, but otherwise have the others. Tiamat, which this is in, I have the first 3 tiers completed and some progress on the 4th one. And so you can make it easier by having more favor and completing these. I don't have that yet. And then I have the damage increase for each of them, the 2x tier 1s, as well as the second global there. Just the 2 globals there, and then spell jamming across wild space, increasing damage as well. So there are a few buffs there that help to gather that. But I was also able to push through to 627 before I basically gave up. So it's not just to the limit. You can push a little bit further than that, but I didn't see a need to. And so with this kind of a setup, you can complete Reya Reborn Gearless. So I hope this helps someone else who's low level, doesn't think it's possible. With a few critical champions, you're able to set this up. I would think Dob, Orkira, Corazon are some of the key ones. But then it's also even using some of the evergreen champions. Now, you do have to unlock Dragonbait, but not too difficult, especially if you're looking for Reya Reborn. So there's potentially other support champions you could use instead of Brig or Keelik, but this is just who I had available. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye.